Hey coaches, appreciate you tuning in my YouTube channel. This week has all been about play calling, how to call plays. I'm using my specific offensive system, the Gun T RPO system. There's a ton of information available with that if you'd like it. But I'll be using what I do as an example, but hopefully this stuff you can apply to whatever offense you might be running. Okay. If you would like more information, just reach out to me after. All right, so today we're going to talk about reasons to shift. So 2 days ago, we talked about how to build a play sheet. Then we talked about how to script. Now we're talking about when and how and why to use motions and shifts. Okay, why to use motions and shifts. The first reason I want to use motions and shifts is man-to-man. Okay, behind me over to my right, okay, now right here, I've drawn up our base look. Okay, against a base 3-4 or 50 look or whatever you want to call it. And so I'm going to use this kind of as examples for this, but really any offense you run, I would hope these things are still the reasons you shift and you move. All right, so if we get this look and they're in what I consider man-to-man, or I want to know if they're in man-to-man, I can find out very quickly by sending one of my 3 eligible guys in motion. We have one tag, and I can move my B across the formation, which is called bust, and now he's over here. And we know really quickly at quarterback and coach if they're in man-to-man or not, because we send motion and they don't either spin or run with him, they're not in man-to-man. Okay? And if they are in man-to-man, then we know we can send guys across the formation and create natural rubs, okay? Or we can bring guys into the formation to run those nice crossing routes or crack with them or do all kinds of things with them. So we like to do a lot more shifting, okay? Trading, motioning, all that kind of stuff late if they're in man-to-man, whether it's bringing a guy across the field or from the backfield out. Okay, we're going to do a lot of that stuff against man-to-man, more so than we would against a zone team. It's not wrong to do it against zone, but man-to-man, it gives you a lot of mismatches. Okay. The next reason you would shift, or I would shift, is to gain a numbers advantage. Okay, I'm going to use this as an example. If I want to run to the left over here to the quick side, I can just run my quarterback. Okay, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys I've got to block with my quarterback because I gained a number running him. If I don't want to run him, I can bring a guy in motion here and run my wing this direction and pick up a blocker. Or I can shift my wing over here to trips, and if nobody moves, I gained a numbers advantage. Sometimes you can even move eligible guys to gain a number advantage back to the other side. So a lot of times we can bring our wing over here and teams will overshift to the trips, and now we'll run back to the wing side. Where here's what I look at with numbers, is if we're even, it's not awful, but if we're even and it's less guys, that's better. So if I have right over here 4 blockers to block 4 guys, that's not terrible, but if I have 3 blockers to block 3 guys, that's easier. That's one less guy to screw up. So sometimes you can take a guy out to get them to overshift and block one less player. So gain numbers by shifting and motioning. You can run at or from somebody. Okay, we'll do this a lot. We'll line up if a team has a dominant defensive end or outside linebacker or whatever it might be. We'll line up here to get him to line up there, and then we'll shift over to where we really want to run the ball. Or maybe they've got a guy who's a backup who's come in, and we can now shift and motion. Let's say the safety is young. We can now shift our best receiver inside and get him one-on-one. So we're going to shift to run at people or pass at people, but we're also going to do it to get away from guys we may not like. And then the other deal is this. If teams don't move, if you motion or shift, and no one on the other side of the field moves, you should do that all night. Get them to line up, gain the numbers. We would run a lot of overlooks against teams that do that. So here's what I mean by that. If I bring this guy over here and nobody moves, all right, what about if I bring that guy and this guy over here? Is nobody going to move? If they don't move, we're going to do that all night because we're now getting massive numbers to our advantage, okay? And I appreciate you guys letting me use my offense as kind of an example. I hope that made sense to you, but the goal should, I hope, apply for you in whatever offense you run, okay? These are the reasons you want to shift and move. Man-to-man, get the matchup you want, or get rubbing action you want, or get your guy a free release. You want to do a lot of shifts and motions. Numbers advantage, shift to gain numbers, okay? Or shift to shrink numbers and run back to the quick side. Run at or from somebody, or pass at or from somebody, okay? And then if they don't move, live in overloads. If they're not going to move and you can continue to get numbers, you keep doing that by overload. So that's the reasons that we use shifting and motions, okay? The rest of this week I'll be talking about tempo, how to use tempo in your offense, changing up your tempo, how to make adjustments quickly. Again, a lot of my information is coming out of my offensive system, Gun TRPO system, which is available on my website, fbcoachsimpson.com. A lot of it's also on CoachTube. If you just want to talk ball, you can email me, fbcoachsimpson@gmail.com. I appreciate you guys watching this. If you don't mind subscribing, it's right down there in the bottom. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.